It's the end of another month, so it's time for another Blu-ray haul! Welcome to Cinema, where we focus on the film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know down in the comments below what you picked up this past month. Whether Blu-rays, Funkos, any other collectibles that we can geek out with. Share in our nice, respectful comments down in the comments below. Everything we can share and talk about the love of movies. And so I'm going to get right into it from the library DVD haul and things from Prime Day, Amazon Prime, and eBay, as well as other places. And first off, we'll start off with the Funkos. First off, we got Deadpool or Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, a Funko that I haven't been collecting as much recently of Funkos, but I've recently got a little bit back into the spirit, and with my next collection that I'll be showing you, I may be getting more in the coming months, but Wolverine was definitely a must. He's one of my favorite superhero characters of all time, as you might see by the suggestion in the back. Besides the fact that I'm excited for having seen Deadpool and Wolverine, which you'll see in my review whether it's posted after or before this. Next up, we got a Funko Chani. I am in love with Dune. If you have seen any of my Dune reviews in the past, just one of my favorite franchises of all time. Even though it's sort of its own little thing, it sort of counts as a franchise or even a collection of movies, just with the old TV ones in the past. And then we got Gurney Halleck, Josh Brolin. I love this character as well. What we get out of both of these were from Prime Day, both for $6.50 each. Not a bad deal, and I was a little bit hesitant to buy from Amazon Prime, but from the past few that I have ordered, including these, they include their own box and casing as if they're in their own package, as well as the outer box. So yes, there's always the chance of getting a damaged package, which I'm not totally a sticker on keeping these in prime condition, but I also do want to display them. If I put them in the wall like I do in the background and I have some off to the side, then I still want to be able to keep the box for that personal option. So that's the 3 Funkos that I picked up this past month. And we'll get right into the library haul, which is, there's certain hauls 3 times a year. And in this one, there was a decent option, nothing that really stood out, but it's at the last day of the sale. Per time they do it, they give out $3 for everything you put in a sack. I ended up getting 9 DVDs and 1 Blu-ray from what I remember. And so we got Samba. This, I don't remember what entirely stuck out for me at the time, but it's based on the director from Untouchable. So that sounded interesting enough. I wasn't fully finding anything that really spoke my name, really needed, especially since there wasn't any Blu-rays, but something to add to the collection that added some interest. And this one, I mostly got Detonator for Pierce Brosnan, Patrick Stewart, wanted to add to their collections, their filmography. Watch some of the things that I haven't seen before. Let me know down in the comments below if any of these titles stand out to you, you've seen them, and if you should suggest that I get right on it into one of my monthly movie watching themes. Next up, we have Thomas Crown Affair, another Pierce Brosnan one from my birth year, I believe, from 1999, that I have not seen this one either, and I can always get it from other libraries. Check it out, but might as well add it to the DVD collection. I'm still collecting them. I don't mind the quality if it's an easy fix when Blu-rays are not always as easy to get so cheap. But we got Van Helsing. This one adds to Hugh Jackman collection. I haven't heard as many great things about this, but of course, just wanting to check some out from my filmography, director Stephen Sommers. And another round, I did watch this. I do really enjoy this one for what it is, having watched it a few years back when it released. I wasn't like highly praising it as big as some others were, but it's a notable mention for the year it released, and so I might give that another go at some point, and it's always nice to have that in the collection. Next up, we have this 10 movie action pack, and we may even be having an action movie watching month this month. I don't know if I'll get to it because there's mostly franchises I'm trying to get, but this collection has The President's Man, A Line in the Sand, No Code of Conduct, Frame of Mind, Hidden Assassin, Mask of Death, The President's Man, I believe the first one, Super Cop, Logan's War, Bound by Honor, Chaos Factor, and CIA 2 Target Alexa. And so that none of them totally stand out, but there was a Jackie Chan movie in there, there's Chuck Norris, and a couple other notable names that I'm not as familiar with. I don't know if these are great movies since they were put all in one pack, but might as well add it to the collection. You never know what will stand up in the future. Next up, we have Munich, directed by Steven Spielberg. I rather enjoyed this. I find it a little underrated for its own needs, and I haven't really found a Blu-ray as easily, so might as well add it to the Steven Spielberg collection that I've almost watched all of his filmography, and hopefully getting a ranking out by his birthday, I believe sometime in December, if that's when it was. Next up, we have Blood Crime. This one I got for James Caan. He recently passed away. So, just wanting to add something in the collection that might be good, might not be as good. But, like I said, you can let me know that down in comments below. Next up, we're getting into the Blu-rays. This was the last of the library sack sale haul that I got for $3. Blind Spotting. I haven't heard as much about this from 2018, but it's a Blu-ray. Might as well add the higher quality stuff, especially to the collection. I've heard some things, or it was in the cycle of talk now and then, but I don't remember as much what people said about it, but might as well add it. And next up, we got a lot of Marvel stuff, some DVDs, Blu-rays, and some of this I had planned to try and watch, but I have been having a busy schedule, so I might intermix this across different months, whichever and however quickly I get through it. I got the Inhumans, the Marvel Knights DVD, which you'll find some of the following items I'm showing off. They're all from the same collection, Marvel Knights Black Panther, and I'm going to be covering a lot of these, not only within the ranking, because there's 16 Marvel Knights animated movies that I'll rank by the end of watching all, which I've only seen one of them, but in their own collections. Like, I'll rank the Black Panther film within the MCU Black Panther films. Thor and Loki, I'll rank with the Thor movies, possibly. And so it's just things like that that make this stand out. I just found about them recently. And so we got the Wolverine collection. There's 4 of these movies. And so I may even do an X-Men animated movie ranking, or after I do my typical X-Men theatrical release ranking, include all of them together once I get all of those watched. But that'll be a separate one down the road. We got Eternals. Like I said, these are all animated from the Marvel Knights. And there was one that actually had a Blu-ray. I don't know if these were the other ones had a Blu-ray and were out of print, but this one, it was a fairly decent deal, mostly getting these all on eBay. And there's 4 of these X-Men movies that were added to the collection: Gifted, Dangerous, Torn, and Unstoppable. So let me know down in the comments below. I'm interested to know if you knew about any of these Marvel Knights movie collections, because there's about 16 of them, and I believe I got them all now on DVD or Blu-ray, because you can't ever access them on streaming that I know of. And next up, we have Marvel Thor Tales of Asgard. This is not part of Marvel Knights. I don't believe which studio sort of had it, because there's a lot of different things that go on within different studios. Their rights get passed time to time, and this was released, I believe, around the time as the first Thor, from what I recall. But have not seen this, but I'll probably have a ranking with this across the Thor movies once I do. Next up, we got our last couple items. Some big items. We got Nightmare on Elm Street, the complete one. This is all 7 film. Well, there is the new Nightmare as well as Wes Craven's remake, which I do enjoy for their own means. I do enjoy this, and I just want to rewatch this. This was part of Prime Day in one sense because it went down to $20, but I wasn't sure if I was going to get this outer case, which just adds an extra flair to it for a franchise that I really enjoy. And so I went on eBay and I was able to cop this for 21 bucks with the cover. It's used, but I'm never really a stickler for whether it's new or used. And that leads me into my final item, the cream of the crop gem that I found this past month. This has mostly been floating around Amazon on Blu-ray, the Incredible Hulk series from around the 80s for $56 plus mostly. I've always wanted to try and wait for it to get under 50, and I found it on eBay on this random used score for like 35 or whatever, so it was like $37, $38 plus tax, and so that was well worth the money. That I'm really intrigued because I saw the TV movies a couple years back. They were cheesy, but I do enjoy the nature of what they do with the Hulk character. I feel they appropriately dissect the character, the idea of the man versus beast, and how they work together in the best way possible. And so what we get out of this series could be very interesting just from having enjoyed the TV movies on their own. I don't typically watch TV series, but I'm wanting to change that a lot more throughout this year and into next year, depending on which movie watching themes I include. And so this one, I'm just really intrigued to dive into this series at some point down the road. And even if it might not be until next year, depending on my schedule, I now own it all on Blu-ray, and I'm really excited that I finally have that. So that's just my Blu-ray and Funko haul for the month of July 2024. Let me know down in the comments below what you picked up this past month, and make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.